Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. So it's official. Obviously, WrestleMania 42 is canceled. WrestleMania is dead. No, I'm just kidding. But it was announced that WrestleMania 42 will no longer be held in New Orleans, Louisiana. I mean, this whole thing is very strange, so I don't really know the inside details about what happened, because obviously they brought The Rock back to announce that WWE and WrestleMania 42 were going to be held in New Orleans, Louisiana, and then the whole weird stuff with The Rock happened with his soul in the Elimination Chamber and him bailing on WrestleMania, and they announced it live on television. It was a huge deal. Everyone was excited. We're going back to New Orleans. There was a WrestleMania there before. It was amazing. I was there. It was awesome. They're going to New Orleans. Everything is set. The logos are situated. It's all good. Now we hit May, sometime in May, in the middle of May, like May 22nd, May 23rd, where this got leaked. We're not going back to New Orleans. It's done. New Orleans is out. We will do some sort of Money in the Bank there in August of 2026, even though this year it's in June, I believe. Money in the Bank, and then in 2026 it will be in August. So I don't know when they're going to do SummerSlam in 2026, because SummerSlam is usually in August as the biggest party of the summer. So things seem a bit strange here with the WWE calendar, but then they announced that they want to go back to Vegas and have WrestleMania in Vegas on a consistent basis. Now, if you just look from a financial standpoint, obviously that's a good move for WWE. It seems that WrestleMania 41, they made a ton of money at Vegas. There's a ton of stuff going on there. There's a lot of people there. They made the most money, I guess, they've ever made for WrestleMania. But ticket sales, the building wasn't packed. It was hard for fans to get around. It wasn't maybe the greatest experience of all time, and it wasn't the greatest WrestleMania in terms of quality of all time. And so now the fans are reacting, and myself are reacting in a way that it just seems that WWE, but more specifically TKO, only care about how much money they can make. And I understand they're a business. That's the point of a business, of course. But when businesses thrive, they care about the fans and the people who really, really, really support their business, right? WWE is driven by the fans. If there are no fans, there is no WWE product. If thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people don't go to WrestleMania week every single year, there is no WrestleMania. And so yes, these companies like TKO and WWE, or mostly TKO because they own WWE, are all about how much money they can make. And there's just so much greed involved that it gets a little bit sick. Now, if they're going to do that, if they're going to go back to Vegas every single year, every 3 or 4 years for this sort of rinse and repeat sort of cycle they're going to do, then they better up the quality of the product, they better up the quality of the matches, and they better up the quality of the storyline to match the rising ticket prices, to the insane ticket prices that they're asking for these shows. And yes, WrestleMania week is amazing, and sometimes I heard stories from Vegas that it could take 2 or 3 hours to get across, different places, so it's hard for the independent scene. It's hard for the fans to go to maybe a different shows that they want to go to, not just WWE events. So it makes it very challenging. So if you're going to do that, if you're going to raise ticket prices and only care about the bottom dollar, then you have to increase the quality of the matches and the quality of the product. That's really, really important. Now, also an important part about WrestleMania, especially if you're watching this and you've been to a bunch of WrestleManias, is being able to experience new cities. Yes, you can go back to a city after 8 years, 10 years, 5 years. That's totally fine. It's been in Dallas, where I'm from, a couple times. That's awesome. It's a new experience each time we go. But rinse and repeat doing the same thing every single year. Yeah, I know there's been WrestleManias where they've been to back-to-back cities and it worked in the past, but it's not the same now. WWE is only thinking about going back to Vegas again is because they made so much money, but they're not looking at the whole picture of the fan experience, which is really should be the most important thing they should be looking at when deciding about what to do, because the fan experience is the most important thing. Again, if there are no fans, there is no WWE, there are no wrestlers, there is no WrestleMania. No one is going to perform in front of no people. People did it in COVID era, and they did it because they had to, but it's not the best solution, right? That's why I slowed down my own professional wrestling career, because I actively had no job because I couldn't wrestle as much during the COVID era. And then I slowed down my career and then eventually moved beyond it into doing some of this stuff. But point being, not to get personal, point being is that the fan experience should be at the top of the list in terms of where should we go to WrestleMania? How can we make it great for the fans? What's easy to get to? How can we reduce ticket sales so families can come? How can we make it affordable for people to come from all over the world to watch WrestleMania, the greatest wrestling spectacle that's ever been? And so I think that's really important, and TKO has to look at that before they just think greed, 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 money, money, money. Let's go back to Vegas. That's the best option. We made the most money there. Who cares about everyone else and everything else? And I think that's a bad business model, and over time, it's going to bite them in the ass if they don't quickly snap out of it and consider the fans, what's best for the fans. How can we make this experience best for the fans? That should always be top of mind. That is how they should filter all their decisions and thoughts and actions, but they're not. They're filtering through the greed and the money lens, and I think that's just the wrong move. And so there's my rant about WrestleMania 42, New Orleans, and all this type of stuff that might happen moving forward. Now, maybe it'll all change. This is all just me having sort of a hot take, rumor mill type stuff here. Maybe it'll change. Maybe it won't be in Vegas. Maybe it'll go somewhere else. Maybe New Orleans, or maybe New Orleans will bring it back. I have no idea. But this is how I feel in this moment on May 24th, 2025. This is how I feel. So thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Drop those comments, then like this video and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.